Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the April Showers book tag. I just thought it was a fitting tag because we are nearing the end of April and springtime, and I like the prompts that went along with it. But before we go ahead and get on into the tag, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new bookish content. I post new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, and sometimes other days throughout the week. Also, don't forget to check down in the description box below for links to all of my social medias, my Buddy Read Discord, and my Patreon, where you can be entered into winning book giveaways. So I'll go ahead and link in the description box the blog where I found this tag as well as all of the prompts. Prompt number 1 is to show a book that has water on the cover, and I'm going to go with The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. This is an adult thriller that I still haven't read, but as far as I know, it follows a group of people that are on like a cruise ship, and the woman in cabin 10 goes missing, but then they start to like try and figure out how she went missing. Her body was never recovered, and there's this whole mystery that surrounds it. I like Ruth Ware. Her books are usually pretty quick to get through, so I do need to get to this at some point, but it has the water droplets on it, and it's also textured, which is kind of cool, as well as like a view out of the porthole, and we can see the ocean in the background, so lots of water on this cover. Prompt 2 is a classic that you would like to curl up on the couch with during a rainy day, and I'm going to go with Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I have been just wanting to reread this book for some reason. I remember loving it when I first read it. It's definitely like one of my favorite Gothic classics, this and Wuthering Heights, and I should just reread it and just get sucked back into the story and like the haunted house vibes and Jane and Mr. Rochester's relationship, but I could definitely see myself just reading this era type classic on a rainy day. Prompt 3 is a scary book to read during a thunderstorm, and I'm going to go with Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This is definitely more creepy than scary, but we are following a mute girl that can see ghouls, and she goes back to her family's estate, of which she was warned by her mother never to return. She sees all of these creepy ghost-like beings, and like half of their faces are missing. She has creepy dreams. There is a demon in this book and like a shadow world. There's definitely a lot of like creepy elements to it, a lot of mystery, not necessarily like jump scare type stuff, but it just has that atmospheric, that underlying creepiness to it that I'd love V.E. Schwab for. Prompt 4 is what is a good book recommendation for a rainy day, and I'm going to have to go with the opposite of wet, cold, and rainy. I'm going to go with 12 Kings and Sharakai by Bradley Belier. This is a desert fantasy, and it has like, you know, Middle Eastern folklore and influences, but it's definitely like the complete opposite type of setting. I really enjoyed this book. I was just sucked into the characters' lives and the lore and just how the author develops such a vivid setting and world that I feel like if I was having to be inside cooped up day after day as it rained, I would want to be transported to something magical and whimsical, a little bit dangerous, a lot of mythology, and definitely somewhere where it was warm and sunny and dry. Prompt 5 is what are 2 characters that you would like to spend a rainy day with, and I'm going to have to go, honestly, with Fitz and the Fool from Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderling, because they're best friends. They have such a history together, and I just feel like it would be so much fun spending the day with them, but like not even doing anything crazy, like just hanging out in Fitz's study, like studying scrolls, you know, drinking tea and talking and, you know, learning more about the Fool and his life growing up, and just kind of like being immersed in their lives and discussing things with them and learning things and reading and maybe developing, you know, some poisons while we're at it. I don't know, but I feel like I could learn a lot from both characters, and I would just love to spend the day with them, cooped up somewhere, talking. Question 6 is to name a book with blue on the cover, and I chose To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Obviously, we have the blue right here, and I loved this book. I thought it was so, so good. It is an adult sci-fi, and I have a full review of it, so I'll link it up in the cards for you guys, but I can't wait for him to publish more books in this world. Question 7 is a book with a rainy setting at some point, and I honestly could not remember. I'm just going to assume that The Guest List by Lucy Foley has a rainy setting. Number 1, on the cover there is rain, but also it takes place on an island off of the coast of Ireland, and Ireland's known to have like a lot of rain showers, so I figured at some point there was probably some rain. But this is a fun thriller, and it follows a wedding party, and someone like at the wedding dies, and we're trying to figure out who killed that person and why, and then we delve into like the backstories of all these characters and how they're all interconnected. Definitely a fun thriller, very atmospheric, very isolated on this island in the middle of the Atlantic, so definitely pick this one up as well if you like good thrillers. Question 8 is, do you have a book that you'd like to use as an umbrella? And absolutely not. Water completely damages books, so definitely not on that. Question 9 is, what character would you like to share an umbrella with? And I think I'm going to go with Wayne from the Mistborn, second era Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, because he's just so funny and very unpredictable. And I feel like he would somehow use his abilities to maybe shield us from the rain or put a bubble around us or something. Or if anything, he would be fun to chat with and walk with and maybe joke and laugh around with. But I think I would mostly want to use him for like his abilities to stay dry, maybe. I don't know if that's even possible, but I'm gonna go with Wayne. Prompt 10 is to share a book that was dry at the beginning but had an amazing ending, and I'm gonna have to go with An Alchemy of Mask and Mirrors by Curtis Craddock. This is the first book in the Risen Kingdoms trilogy. The reason why is because I was fairly lukewarm about this book until like the halfway point, and then like it just did a complete 180, and this plot line took off. I couldn't figure out like who was working for whom, and if the people were telling the truth and what that truth was, and if that was even the truth. Like the author just threw so many twists and turns that I was so thrown off and couldn't figure things out that this book just ended with a completely different like feeling than the first part of the book, and it sucked me in and it set up for like an awesome rest of the series. So I always tell people, like, if you are reading this author in the series for the first time, like get through the first half of book 1, and if you're still not gripped the second half of the book, then it might not be for you. But like for me, I was just so surprised, and there were just so many mysteries and I just couldn't figure it out. So definitely a good answer for prompt 10. Okay, you guys, that is it for the April Showers book tag. Let me know in the comments some of your answers to these prompts, or if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, and I will see y'all in another video soon. Goodbye!